Long ago, in a quiet Chinese village, there stood a majestic mountain called Heaven Peak. Rising proudly into the clouds, it was both a challenge and a mystery to those who gazed upon it. For generations, the villagers dreamed of building a temple at its summit, a sacred place where their prayers could rise directly into the heavens. But the dream was daunting. The mountain slopes were steep, its paths rugged and dangerous. To climb it was already a trial of strength. To build a staircase to the very top seemed almost impossible. One day, the elders of the village gathered everyone in the square. With solemn voices, they made an announcement that stirred every heart. Whoever can build a staircase to the top of Heaven Peak will not only bring honor to themselves, but also to all of us. The temple will be our gift to the sky, and the builder will forever be remembered. The idea electrified the village. A staircase to heaven. The people murmured with excitement, imagining the glory of being the one to complete such a task. Yet hidden beneath their excitement was doubt. Who could possibly carry out such a feat? The challenge begins from within the crowd. A figure stepped forward. His name was Weey, a tall and strong young man. His arms were powerful, his voice bold, and his presence commanded attention. With a confident smile, he declared, "I will build the staircase faster than anyone else. I will be the one to reach the top." The villagers erupted in cheers. Of course, Weey would succeed. He was the strongest, the fastest, the most determined in appearance. To them, the challenge seemed already won. But as the crowd celebrated, another figure slowly emerged. It was Lynn, an old widow. Her back was bent from age, her hands trembled as she walked, and each step seemed uncertain. The villagers gasped, then laughed aloud. "Grandmother Lynn," they said mockingly, "you can hardly carry water from the well. How can you climb a mountain, let alone build a staircase to the heavens?" Yet Lynn did not falter. She lifted her eyes toward Heaven Peak, then looked back at the villagers with a calm smile. In a soft but steady voice, she answered, "I will carry one stone a day. Only one." The people laughed harder. To them, her words were foolish. How could one stone a day compare to Wee's mighty strength? Still, Lynn's gaze was unwavering. Where Weey placed his faith in speed and power, Lynn placed hers in patience and persistence. And so the challenge began. Stones on the mountain. The very next morning, Weey set out with boundless energy. Carrying massive stones upon his broad shoulders, he climbed the steep path with quick, powerful steps. At the summit, he placed each stone with a loud shout that echoed through the valley. The villagers gathered to cheer, inspired by his strength. Day after day, his staircase rose quickly, bold and impressive. Meanwhile, Lynn began her quiet journey. She took a small stone, wrapped it in a cloth, and tied it close to her chest. Slowly, she walked the dangerous path, her breath unsteady, her steps deliberate. When she reached a spot on the mountain, she laid the stone down gently. Then she returned home, whispering to herself, "One stone today, one more tomorrow." At first, the difference was striking. Wee's staircase stretched high into the air, while Lynn's effort looked like nothing more than a scattering of pebbles. The villagers whispered to one another, certain that Lynn's attempt was hopeless. But Lynn did not listen to their doubts. Her focus never wavered. Each day, without fail, she carried her stone. When strength fades, weeks passed, then months. Slowly, cracks appeared, not in the stones, but in Wee's determination. Some mornings he overslept, telling himself, "I will carry twice as many tomorrow." Other days, his body ached and his pride began to fade. His pile of heavy stones at the foot of the hill grew untouched, moss creeping over them as days turned to weeks. Lynn, however, never stopped. She carried her stone under the blazing summer sun, through the biting winds of autumn, across the snow of winter, and in the rains of spring. Her back bent lower, her hands shook more, but her resolve grew stronger. With every step, she whispered the same promise, "Just one today." Her progress was almost invisible at first, but it was steady. While Wee's staircase crumbled unfinished, Lynn's path slowly, faithfully climbed higher. The staircase to heaven. Years passed. The villagers nearly forgot the challenge, for it seemed no one would ever complete it. But then one morning, a sound echoed through the valley, the ringing of a bell high above. The villagers rushed out of their homes and looked up at Heaven Peak. Their eyes widened in awe. Stretching from the base of the mountain to the very top was a staircase, strong and unbroken, leading directly to the temple. It was Lynn's work. The same frail woman they had once mocked had built what seemed impossible, one stone a day, year after year. The villagers bowed before her, tears in their eyes. "Grandmother Lynn," they said, "you were not the strongest nor the fastest, but your steady steps have created a highway to heaven." In the crowd, Weey stood silently. The pride that once filled his heart had been replaced by humility. He realized then a truth he had never known. Talent without consistency is like thunder without rain, loud but unable to nourish the earth. From that day forward, the staircase was named the Path of Patience, a lasting reminder of the power of persistence. The legacy of Lynn. The story of Lynn's staircase spread far beyond the village. Travelers came from distant lands to walk the path of patience, each step teaching them the quiet strength of perseverance. People who once believed success belonged only to the strong or talented now saw the truth. Greatness is not born in sudden bursts, but in small actions repeated faithfully over time. Weey, humbled by his failure, began to change. No longer boasting of his strength, he started carrying small stones of his own. Though his name was not carved into history, he learned the deeper lesson Lynn had shown the world, that consistency is the real key to achievement. The villagers passed down the story to their children. Generations grew up knowing that even the smallest effort, if done daily, could become mighty. Just as rivers carve valleys drop by drop, so too could steady steps carve out the path to dreams. The lesson for us all. So remember this, carry your stone today, carry another tomorrow. Do not wait for the perfect moment, nor rely only on flashes of talent. Success is not about how fast you begin, but how faithfully you continue. One day when you look back, you will see not just stones, but a staircase reaching towards your own peak, built by patience, perseverance, and unwavering heart. Because in the end, consistency always beats talent.